a lot of the altcoins haven't moved in the last week, where everything else, most of it at least, was pumping like crazy. And we have to have a look today at these coins and position ourselves for that move that could be potentially happening in the next 24 hours. And of course, we're also going to talk about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the Bitcoin dominance. And if you think that is interesting, then you should definitely stick around here until the end and make sure that you are subscribed to my channel, that you like this video, and also activate the bell to never miss out on these important videos, and also to help with the algorithm to push the video. And now let's directly start with today's episode. My name is Alex from AMCrypto, and this here is the crypto bubbles that we are looking at right now. And we can see that a lot of the altcoins have moved over the last 7 days dramatically. Look at Bitcoin Cash, 80%. Insane for Bitcoin Cash to see something like that. But I have to say, Bitcoin Cash was for a long time ranging, so there had to come either a huge push to the upside or a huge push to the downside, and it went the latter. Then also here the scam Bitcoin BSV, personal opinion of course, 51%, Pepe 62%, Ethereum Classic 23, CAS 23, VET 24, Kava 34, CFX almost 30, SDX almost 30. So a lot of these altcoins have moved over 20% in the last 7 days. But let's look at the altcoins that have not moved that much. Let's look, for example, BTT went into minus. Qcoin's own token did -8. Phil did 6.8. INJ 7.7. 10, CRV 9.6, then you have eGold 9.9, Solana 8.1, you have then here XRP only 2%, Apt 7.5%, Maker 5.1, Ape 6.5, LDO 4.4, so FDM almost 14%, so that's kind of okay, Casper 5%, Uni 4.6%, SNX 3.8%, RNDR, Render only 6%. So you see there's a lot of coins where I believe there's still huge potential that they see an explosive move in this coming week. But let's first talk about Bitcoin before I go deeper into altcoins. So yesterday happened more or less what I was expecting, and that was that we saw another run to the upside here to $31,500. There it stopped. So we got close here on the daily chart into that resistance level of 32,300 all the way up to 33,300 into the monthly pivots that we see over here. We are running into them. That's from where this resistance is coming from. But I still think that the price will be gravitating to that level at some stage, but not now. I think that might have been the top for now. I'm not saying that we see now a massive correction back to like $23,000, $24,000. No, that's definitely not in the cards in my opinion. But it might be that this here was now the top. And I believe if today's candle stays as it is, we could see an evening star pattern forming here, where the candle stays as it is with a doji to the upside, and then tomorrow's candle will be then the move to the downside. And that's why I'm really cautious today with my trading, because there might be only a small window today where you can still make some money, and then you have to be careful with what's happening tomorrow. Then here on the 3-day chart, we created a new candle. Like I said, I don't believe that this candle also on the 3-day chart will look any different for the time being. I believe in 3 days later we're going to see another leg to the upside. But for now, the next 3 days, I think this candle will more or less stay at it as it is, and go tomorrow a little bit lower and then push back up again. There also nothing changed really much. On the 30 minutes chart here, you can clearly see that we were running into the underlying resistance, the overhanging resistance that we had. Yeah, so here you can see it, and we got rejected from there. That was expected, in my opinion. There we see a rejection from here, and now you see that we are kind of going sideways and consolidating under that resistance. And Also here, based on the 30 minutes chart, I expect another retest here to the upside, potentially lower than the high that we created here. So it will be a lower high. And then we might see then this bigger correction to the downside. So, and that might come down all the way here to $29,381. That could be a potential target. There is right now a lot of bullishness in Bitcoin. So that we see a potential going under 30K is getting smaller and smaller by the hour. But 29, 28.5, in my opinion, could be still a quick move to the downside where we then come back up to 30 and continue then to trend upwards, because 30 was for such a long time resistance. We finally smashed through it, and now the bulls have to defend that to the upside. On the 1 hourly chart also, we see that the momentum here on the stochastic RSI is shifting to the downside. We got here a sell signal. I expect here also in the next coming hours a potential correction back to like 30,300, potentially retesting here that former resistance, which flipped here into support, so that we retest that support. So if it breaks there already, then it will accelerate really quick to the downside, because if I would go here into a higher time frame, you would see that potentially here in these 4 candles we have a potential what is it called again? We have there a gap in the candle, which left a footprint that we can actually trade. An imbalance, that's what I was looking for. Oh, thank you. Imbalance. So we have a potential imbalance here in these candles on the 4 hourly chart. So, and that would then mean that we have to come back down and fill that imbalance. So let's look here on the 4 hourly chart on the way up. Did we get an imbalance? There is no imbalance. There's also no imbalance. There is kind of like an imbalance, but a really, really small one. When I look at this, so this is really, really small. It's like only here that. Ah, wait, no, that's how you draw it. Sorry guys, I made a mistake here. So this is how you draw this. Yeah, so there is a bigger imbalance all the way down here. So I will just make that now a different color that you actually see that better. So look at this. So that is the imbalance zone. 27,170, 28,400. Into that range, most likely the price will come back to, and from there we bounce back up to the upside. So how did I mark out the imbalance? It is here, that candle. Here, if you look at this. So look at this. It's the top of the prior candle here, this one. And then you take it to the next one after that big impulsive move. So that becomes your imbalance. And then you know, okay, from there to the bottom of that middle candle, that is to the top here of that candle. So that is your imbalance. So and that is 27,150, 28,125. That is your imbalance zone that has to be cleared. That means normally the price should come back and fill it. So that's what I'm looking at for a corrective move to the downside. And then most likely what happens is when we come down there, we wick into it, we come above it, consolidate, and then we see another leg to the upside. So be prepared for that we potentially see that correction coming in Bitcoin. But now, that doesn't mean that altcoins cannot rally while this is happening. Because the Bitcoin dominance is still on a tier here to the upside. It creates newer highs over newer highs all the time. So we are getting closer and closer to the 52% level. And I still expect a massive correction to the downside once we're getting there. Because Bitcoin can only go as high as it is right now. It will not go much higher, in my opinion. And the Bitcoin dominance will then lose steam when also the buying pressure is flushing out of the market slowly. And then you're going to see that turn where people starting to take profits on Bitcoin, because Bitcoin will start going sideways, will slow down in its movement, what it did already. And then you see altcoins popping, like Waves 30%, Bitcoin Cash 40%. So it's slowly happening, and this will just accelerate over the next coming days. And guys, I just want to tell you, if you want to trade in the next coming days altcoins and potentially even still today with me together, trade with me on BYBIT, you still get $30,000 if you sign up there, but only if you use my specific link. I post most of the time right now a lot of trades in my free Telegram channel. The link is in the pinned comment and in the description below. And you also definitely should sign up on ASCENDEX. There you can grab an additional $2,000 absolutely for free. And while you are trading, you can earn in Bitcoin back some of the fees that you are spending on your trading, which is absolutely massive, especially with Bitcoin going right up. I would definitely take advantage of that, but also only with that specific link down here. So now let's talk about some of the altcoins. So here, Link went already to our first target. Congratulations, guys, if you were in that trade and you took here initial profits, but I still believe Link has way more room to go here higher. So I would just remove the first target here because we completed that one. So what I believe is going to happen, that we will come back down because the stochastic is overbought already, and also the RSI wants to make here a turnaround. But then also here we will see it come back, and then we see it going higher to all the targets that you see here. So that can happen literally next week if Bitcoin is playing along and the Bitcoin dominance is dropping. So I'm still keeping my trade. So that is a spot trade that I have. I don't use here any leverage, guys, just that you know, full disclosure, I don't use on that trade any leverage. I traded that on spot and will take profits here at the $10.61 mark. That's my final target, but I'm raising my stop loss, guys. So my stop loss became now my entry to make sure that if I get stopped out, I don't lose any money. And then if we hit here 20%, then the first target will then become my stop loss. So here that 8% more or less level will turn into my stop loss once we are hitting 20, and I'm keeping to raise my stop loss that way. So let me show you why I believe that we will see an explosive move, because here on the weekly we are closing tomorrow the weekly candle, and we're gonna see here further upwards movement over the next week, in my opinion, and that will be only slowed down by maybe the next 48 hours, and then we will see continued movement to the upside in most of the altcoins. Also here in ENJ needs really to break here this downward sloping resistance line to move here higher. I see here a potential new, it's not really a flag, it's more like a broadening wedge from what I see here now. Yeah. So that is like a broadening wedge. So that normally should also break to the upside because it's not a rising broadening wedge. So that should normally break to the upside. If it breaks to the downside, then the target would be here $6.32. Then will give you a nice opportunity to load up on it between $6.60 and $6.30. That would be my load up zone if it comes back down. So here, emphasis on if it comes down, then this here becomes your buy zone to load up on it before it will go up and break it to the upside, because this is definitely exploding soon. The stochastic is already oversold. The RSI is still somewhat bullish. It's kind of like a neutral area, but I consider that still bullish. And also on the weekly chart, when I look at the indicators here, stochastic at the bottom, about to pinch here to the upside. And once that resistance line is broken, we go to potentially $14 in INJ, so I would definitely also keep an eye on that. Then here RNDR, also same thing, the downward sloping resistance line needs to be broken and the upward sloping support line has to hold. And now here on my entry targets, I would slightly adjust them if you want to get into that trade based on where we are right now. So if we would break here at that point now, what we're most likely going to do, then you see that it gives us more profit if we enter at that specific level here. It's like 42%-ish. Yeah, so that is now almost 90% to the upside, what we can bank here in the next coming weeks. So just let's have a look here also on the stochastic. How's the stochastic looking? Yeah, also here you see stochastic is at the bottom. Also here, major movement is waiting for us in the next couple days here, maybe even hours. So when you look at this here, so that is a really bullish candle, the third one, even though we have here a really long wick back to the downside. So it's like a 20% wick to the upside right now. So, but we have here a Morningstar pattern once we are closing at weekly candle, and tomorrow we could see a push potentially back up to, yeah, shorten that wick a little bit. Also here, yeah, 4 hourly, we are at the bottom stochastic. The normal RSI might point up here again. So I would only maybe look here on the EMA ribbon. What is, yeah, so, okay, the EMA ribbon has to be reclaimed. The price has to come up here another 10 cents to stay above the EMA ribbon to continue the uptrend. If we don't do that, then we will most likely revisit the upward sloping support line and have to wait a little bit longer for that break. But otherwise, I see that breaking here in the next coming days. Then let's talk quick about Ethereum. Ethereum has also attempted to break this downward sloping resistance line, has failed for now to do that. So, but we are still sitting above the golden ratio, the 0.618 to 0.65 level. As long as that is holding, that will give us enough momentum to continue to push here higher. But here on the daily chart, you see we are in overbought conditions on the stochastic RSI. The normal RSI is flatlining. As long as the price continues to go sideways and we push like that over that resistance line, that's fine. Then I believe we can go higher. If not, then also here we might see a correction to at least $1,800-ish. Kind of like here. That will be then the level to watch. And that will also give you a nice opportunity to load up on more Ethereum or to open a long here and trade this then to the upside once that is happening. That's it already for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Please make sure that you smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you then again tomorrow.